Welcome to Knife Chats. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with friends, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Thank you.
Well, I recently did a video on this knife, the Rough Rider Ram's Horn Bone Barlow, and a lot of people liked it, but it seemed like there were two other knives that I talked about in that video that were stealing its thunder. And so what I thought I'd do in this video is talk about one of those other knives, and that would be the Rough Rider 1035 White Smooth Bone Barlow. I really wasn't expecting this knife to be as popular as it was, but it was everything about this knife that I really liked that a lot of other people seem to have liked also. So I thought what I would do is talk a little bit about this knife, and who knows, maybe if I talk a little bit about it and a lot of other people are interested in it, maybe we can actually talk to Rough Rider and Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and they'll reconsider popping this bad boy out again, because they have plenty of knives in white smooth bone, and those are knives that they do tend to reissue. So why not come out with the Big Daddy Barlow in white smooth bone again? Especially considering these things seem to be picking up in popularity. So why white smooth bone? Well, first of all, the big thing that I liked about it was the fact that it has no shield. And they tend to do that with their white smooth bone knives. Rough Rider rarely puts a shield in their white smooth bone knives. Now, a lot of other companies do, but Rough Rider doesn't. They look at it as a platform for scrimshaw work. And you see it here in their standard Barlow. You notice the Rough Rider stamp up there in the bolster. But this one was done for Halloween, and this was their Halloween Headless Horseman Barlow. It's a standard Barlow, so you've got the small pin blade and then the main clip blade with the Happy Halloween etch on there. You notice it also has the double R Tang stamp, because even though this is a very early pattern in the Rough Rider lineup, they reissued it and they gave it the back-to-back R's for the Tang stamp. So new release of a very old pattern. Now, most of the white smooth bone knives have a pattern number in the 100s and 200s. The white smooth bone Granddaddy Barlow, or I'm sorry, Big Daddy Barlow, is 1035, so it came out well after most of the other white smooth bone knives came out. And it already featured the half stop that Rough Rider is going for in all of their knives. But notice this one has the old horseshoe Tang stamp. I think that was the third Tang stamp that they used. It also has the swedge on the blade, and really good positive lock going on for it. So it's already set up for the way they're making their knives now, half stop and everything else. But it has just the horseshoe Tang stamp. The horseshoe shield stamped into the bolster, very similar to what they're doing, what they did with the Ram's Horn Bone. And I think they have another one coming out, but it's going to have the big R on it. No one wants the big R. Trust me, Rough Rider, no one wants the big R anymore. Everyone is tired of it. But the horseshoe Tang stamp, or the horseshoe stamp, is still very popular, as well as the little Rough Rider horseman, the guy on horseback with Rough Rider under the name. That Tang stamp is very popular and would look great on the shield as well. So those are options that they could do if they were to come out with a new white smooth bone knife. White smooth bone is also gaining popularity these days because a lot of people have taken to dyeing white smooth bone to whatever color they want. And they use like grit dye to do that, or they will antique the bone by putting it in boiling tea and letting the tea enter into the knife handle. Others are using wood varnishes and stuff on the bone to brown it out and everything else to make it look like an antique bone. So there's a lot of options that the knife collector can do with white smooth bone that they can't do with something like ram's horn bone. And well, the fact that this doesn't have a shield is something that also makes it extremely popular, it seems, among the knife collectors out there. A lot of people like that bolster with the marketing going on there. They want the logo on the bolster. They don't want it anywhere else. They don't want any kind of fancy etching on the blade or anything else. They just want your basic knife. And really, can you think of something more basic than the white smooth bone? So that would be my advice to Rough Rider. This knife proved very popular when I was talking about their latest Barlow. Actually, it seemed more popular than the latest Barlow. People just kind of dug the white smooth bone, the simplicity of it, and maybe that's what Rough Rider needs to look at. Going back to basics while still going back to the or thinking of some of the newer features that they're doing. A lot of people love the half stop, but talk about simplicity at its best. And the fact that people who want to dye this could actually dye it into a red smooth bone or a blue smooth bone by using RIT dye or other options also says something. Plus, it's also a great platform for scrimshaw work still. So think about it, Rough Rider. Think about coming out with the Big Daddy Barlow again and white smooth bone. I think it'd be popular. Any case, I'll talk to you guys soon. There's my sales pitch to Rough Rider for the white smooth bone Barlow. Oh, and just to show you also, this is one of my favorite little Barlows because it's got a little doggy on there, and that came from US Classics. Unfortunately, they screwed it all up by putting a shield in the white smooth bone. It looks better on this side. So there you go. I really don't like a shield in my Barlows. Keep it simple and put all your billboarding right there on the bolster, like the horseshoe logo or the Rough Rider logo, something like that up there on the bolster, and you're going to have a knife that's going to sell really well. People do really like the Big Daddy Barlow. I think they like it better than the standard Barlow. Anyway, I know I do.
Thank you for visiting Knife Chats. I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel and ringing that notification bell so that you will be notified when the next episode of Knife Chats is up online. Thanks again. See you soon.